Welcome back to the channel, YouTube. Today we got a pretty quick tutorial for you guys. We are going to be doing a transmission fluid drain and fill on our 10-speed 2021 Honda Accord. So to get started, here are the things you'll need. You'll need 5 quarts of the ATF 2.0 fluid. Make sure you look for the 2.0. The 10 speeds take 4.5 quarts, so you'll need 5, and it'll run you about $80 or so from Honda. And a couple of tubes to pour your fluid into, crush washers, sockets, and gloves, as well as some old rags or cardboard to catch any of the dirty fluid. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to take the car for a 5-minute drive and get the fluid warm. After we do that, we're going to pull back in and make sure you're on a level surface and jack up all 4 sides of the car. Alright, so once you've got the transmission warmed up, let's go ahead and jack up all 4 corners and make sure it's level. Alright, once you guys have your car on jack stands and leveled out, next thing you're going to want to do is remove this under chair right here, held on by 4 flatheads and a couple of Phillips in the back. Let's go ahead and do that. Before we go and drain the fluid, the drain bolt, if you're looking from the front to the back, by your front pipe, this is your transmission drain bolt. But before you pull that, what you should do is, if you guys look up here, there is a inspection level port, which is the bottom one right here. Not sure if you guys can see that very well. So this one right here, right below the label, this one right here is your inspection level, where you'll open it to see some fluid drip out. And the one up top right here, don't think you guys can see that, but there is another bolt up here right by the label to the top and right of the label. This is your fill hole. What I recommend you do is open this one up first before you drain it, so that you're able to fill it up. This bolt up here is a 17 mil. That is your fill hole. Let's go ahead and crack that open. Alright, so now that we know we can remove our fill plug, let's go ahead and drain that transmission fluid. Alright, so with your 3/8 ratchet, go ahead and put it on there and give it a turn, and you can start loosening it. Be careful with this, since you just came back from a drive. This fluid will be hot and you don't want to burn yourself.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Yep, and we made a mess. But that was to be expected. When you take out your drain bolt, you will make a mess. Be forewarned. Let's go ahead and wipe off the metal particles from this drain bolt. These are all your transmission shavings. This is normal, don't worry. This magnet is here to just catch all of that. And we'll go ahead and replace this crush washer. While this is still draining, fun fact, if you have a cat litter works great at cleaning up oil spills. It'll soak it up and you'll just sweep it up and throw it away. Alright, so with your transmission done draining, go ahead and tighten this bolt back up. No need to get it too tight, just make it snug, just like a oil drain plug would be. We'll get that snug. And now, time for the fun part of filling up this fluid. Alright, so for filling up your transmission fluid, you've got two options. We can either use one of these quarts to pump adapters, or you can stick this into the fill hole and run it up through the engine bay and use a funnel to pour it in. I'm going to try out this one with the pump first, and if it works well, I'll stick to that. If not, we'll move over to this one. Alright, so the bottle pump method didn't really work too well for me. Instead, I'm now grabbing a funnel and a 5/8 outer diameter cut to length and fed down there into the fill hole, and now I'm filling it up. Alright, once you guys have the fluid filled to about 4.5 quarts, I did a little extra because I had some drippage everywhere. Go ahead and close up your fill port, have all the bolts in, and what we're going to do now, start the car and go through each gear. The procedure for getting the fluid through and checking the level, you're going to start the car in park, hold it 3 seconds, reverse 3 seconds, neutral 3 seconds, drive 3 seconds, put it in sport and second gear 3 seconds, and do it back all the way up, and then check the inspection hole. You might hear a little bit of a sound. That's normal, you just filled up the transmission. So without further ado, let's go ahead and show you guys that procedure. Alright, so here we are, park. 1, 2, 3. Reverse. 1, 2, 3.
Neutral. 1, 2, 3. Drive. 1, 2, 3. Sport. Second gear. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. First gear. 1, 2, 3. Back to neutral. 1, 2, 3. Reverse. 1, 2, 3. Park. 1, 2, 3.
And shut her off. Now take your 12mm bolt, or your 12mm socket, and go underneath the car and open up that inspection port. And if you have a steady flow coming out, then you are good to go. This is about the steady stream you should see when everything is at the right level. So plug this back up, torque everything down, and then we'll go for a drive to make sure all the gears roll properly. Now that everything is tidied up a bit, what we're gonna do is take the car for a quick drive and row through the gears to make sure everything shifts properly. So I'm gonna set you guys down and go for a quick little cruise. Alright, so the car is moving, so that's good. Shift is at third. So far so good. Downshifting seems to be good. What I really want to test is my third or fourth pole, because that was the one that was giving me trouble before. Seems to be good. Alright, so all the shifting seems to be good, and we'll go ahead and double check underneath after we get back to make sure there aren't any fluid leaks, but at initial glance seems to be shifting a bit smoother, actually, not as jerky, so that's a good thing. All right, we are back from that drive. Everything seems to shift good. There's no leaks as far as I can tell. I'll go double check that again. To recap, essentially what you need to do is warm up your transmission, then jack up your car on a level surface front to back. Then when you're draining the transmission, make sure you have something to catch the splash damage, otherwise you'll end up with a mess like this. And then once you're done draining, close it up, fill it up with some 5/8 outer diameter tube and pour it through a funnel and do 4.5 quarts. I did a little more. Then plug it up, go through the gears for about 3 seconds, and then open the inspect port and see that you have a steady stream coming out, and then take it for a drive, make sure everything's good. So if you found that helpful, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.